Well, welcome back. You know, as a news organization, Look TV, we're constantly talking to political leaders and business leaders about the issues that are important to them. And the issue of transparency comes up time and time again, probably because of some of the national culture right now in terms of deadlock in Congress. And these two gentlemen here are from the Warren County Board of Supervisors. We've got Doug Beatty and we have Mark Westcott. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jesse.
And in the case of Mark, he and I have worked together. So in a conversation recently, this subject of transparency came up, and I thought, who better to have on Look TV than two of the people that deal with this on a day-in, day-out basis. So if I were to say to you, Mark, what does transparency in government mean right now?
Well, it's important at all levels of government, Jesse. In New York, we have open meeting laws, and we represent Warren County. The county does a pretty good job of ensuring that people are informed that meetings are taking place, but almost all the meetings at the county are during the day. So what Doug and I are working on are programs that inform people and hopefully get people involved that work during the day, that can attend meetings during the day, because we believe when that takes place, government works better. So one of the things we did initially was we now have an email that goes out. You receive it. It goes out to over 2,000 people, informing them of what's taking place at the county. And we started last year night meetings. We held one on the budget, on taxes, and on the airport. And Doug's going to talk a little bit about what we have planned for this year.
I got you. Go ahead, Doug.
Thanks, Jesse. Our next meeting, first of all, is going to be Monday night, which is the 17th at 6 o'clock at Crandall Library. This is going to be a number of series of meetings that we're going to have. Invite the public, come on in, tell us what your concerns are. The issue that night will be about the airport. We will also be presenting options. This is all part of our agenda to make government more transparent.
Right. Now, for our viewers to know, this is outside of the supervisors meet on a monthly basis in Warren County. But what you're talking about is a step that you've taken that I really want to compliment you guys on. It's almost a town hall kind of a setup, and that's what you're referring to with Monday night at Crandall, right?
That's exactly right, Jesse. It's going to be a town hall format. Mark and I will do a short presentation on the Runway 30 and all the options available. We're going to invite the public to speak. Let us hear your concerns. Where are your different points of view on this topic? And then finally, after that, we're going to hold a series of meetings quarterly on different topics. So 3 months from now, we'll have another meeting, Mr. Westcott and I, on another topic. So
now, as we mentioned before we went on air, we're going to have both of you back for our program Beyond the Headlines, so we can get more in depth in this. So we don't mean to just skim over it. But there were two topics that I know are of concern to us that we hear about. One is the airport, and the other is a cogeneration project. And I'd like to ask each one of you gentlemen just to comment briefly on those subjects. So let's start with the airport.
Great. I'll start off there. First of all, Doug and I are supporters of the airport. We see the benefits. It brings in tourism. It brings in economic development. What we don't agree with is an $8 million runway expansion. We have not seen a plan or a case that's been built to justify spending $8 million of taxpayer money on extending the runway. We also support the airport because, it's a really important tool for businesses, but, within reason. We think the budget is too high. We net out about $800,000 a year at the airport. We think that's just too much money to spend annually on the airport, and we think that can come down. There are a couple projects, obstruction removal projects, that are taking place. One is off the seldom used east-west runway 30, and right now the county is proceeding with buying land and navigation easements over $1 million worth, when we think there are other options, and Doug's going to talk about those options.
Thanks, Mark. There are other options, and the key is these options will save money for all county taxpayers and still achieve the objectives. This east-west runway, very simply, there's easement rights that we paid for in 1943. O'Reilly happened to own the land at that time. Clearly states in the deed, which I even have here, shows that we bought the easement rights, okay? Unfortunately, we lost the map. The map cost us $1 million. Mark and I feel, yeah, $1 million is
expensive.
Yeah, it was an expensive mat. It must have been on gold-plated type of background. But the fact of the matter is, we can still get these easement rights, repay for easement rights we have purchased, but we don't have to spend $1 million to do it. And Mark and I have solid options that we want to explain to all taxpayers. And again, Monday night, the 17th at 6 o'clock, we'll be doing that.
Right, and that meeting's at Crandall Library.
Crandall
again,
Library.
So our
That's
viewers
correct.
know. And you really encourage people to attend. And I know at other times when you've held meetings like this, they've been very well attended.
Very well.
So obviously the public is very interested in this. Second topic, cogeneration project.
Okay, the cogeneration project and the sale of the Westmount facility.
Right.
You know, they're combined, and there's three real issues that I want to get out there to the taxpayers. Number one is we feel that the deal has to be sound financially for the county. We don't want to be taking over the coals. We don't want to lose a lot of money. We don't want to do all those things. It's got to be sound for the residents we have there. We don't want anything bad happening or poor new ownership for these residents that are there, because they are county residents. We got to take care of them. And number three is the employees that work there currently. We want to make sure they're taken care of. So there's three main focuses that Mark and I feel with the sale of this Westmount have to occur. And I think Mark will elaborate a little further on that.
Counties all across New York are selling and in some extreme cases closing nursing homes. The economics just don't work for the county anymore. They can't be competitive versus private facilities. So Warren County is doing the right thing in investigating the sale of the nursing home here. Saratoga has just sold their nursing home. Washington County, Essex County, it's taking place in our region. What makes our situation unique is that our nursing home is hooked up to a cogeneration facility.
Right.
A cogen facility powers it. The nursing home is not on the grid. Saratoga had a similar situation, but their contract with the manufacturer of the cogen ended. They brought in an engineering firm to evaluate it, and the decision was to close the facility, the cogen facility, and hook the nursing home up to the grid.
The grid,
Because the energy efficiencies just weren't being achieved. In the case of Warren County, what complicates this is we are right in the middle of our contract with the manufacturer on our cogen. So anyone that's coming in to look at buying the nursing home, in essence, are also looking at buying the cogen. And the issue there is really twofold. One is that the cogen is right in the middle of its contract, so there are more than $1 million of payments left. And the second issue is it really achieving those energy efficiencies? The county has hired their own engineering firm to evaluate this. They were hired last fall. We thought we were going to get the results by the end of the year. We still haven't seen them. And the main thing that Doug and I want is, it goes back to the transparency issue, for us to make an informed vote, to make sure that we know how to vote. We need this information, so that's what we're waiting for.
Well, you know what, and again, we don't have sufficient time to delve into these subjects beyond this, but I hope that the viewers will understand that these are two very important subjects. You know, the Westmount Nursing Home, I had a very close friend who was there. I know that facility, and I know the dedication of the staff and whatever. I mean, these are important issues. Cogeneration is an important issue. The airport is an important issue. And I think you summed it very well. You said that it's about an informed vote. And when we think about this, that's your job, is to make an informed vote. You need information on both sides in order to be able to do that, which plays to the issue of transparency. Well, thank you for coming in, and obviously we're going to continue this conversation because this makes it transparent.
Thank you, Jesse.
And I think we like that.
Yes,
very much,
absolutely.
Jesse.
Thank you so
And
much.
Sure, you're welcome. And to see this interview again, head to our website, looktvonline.com.